Hi, this is Ingrid from Quiltessential Co in St. Albert, and this is 2023 Block of the Month Start. So we're going to have some fun together, and we're going to be making blocks like this. This is a Y block, and it's made with Y seams, and we're going to show you how to do these in fours. So it's really easy, no little triangles. If you're in our Block of the Month, you will already have several sheets of paper. Some of these are tips and tricks. Some of them are the rules and the dates that we do our blocks, so don't forget to look at those so that you know what's happening and when. And now let's go and cut. So every month our fabrics are always named. They're never numbered or lettered. So I've given you a sheet this time with a color of whichever colorway you're in, a color sheet. So it tells you fabric 1 to 6 or 1 to 7, 1 to 7, and what their names are. The names never change during the year, only their positions in the blocks do. So this time Lily might be B, but next time it might be C, D, or E. But the names never change. Don't throw your sheet away because you need that every single month. You take your fabrics out of the bag and you lay them out. Best idea is to best press them with best press spray and give them a nice press before you cut, because it will really make a difference of the crispness of your triangles in the future. And then you're going to cut them. Here's A and B, C, D. And you can use the Y block ruler by Kathy Marie Designs just for cutting your blocks out too. And so you put the specific size on here, cut that out. Same with this, same with this, same with this. So whatever I've put in the instructions. C and D, you're going to give them one diagonal cut across. And I usually use my quick trim ruler for that because it's a little bit longer. And now we're going to sew. So I've given you a few options. So in your notes from me, there will be photos and information. And I've underlined it, and I've sometimes said to double check it, you can always look at the instructions that came with the ruler. And I've said look at step 2 to 4, or look at step 7 or something like that. So you've got more than one way to work on this. First of all, you're going to take your B square and you're going to lay it wrong sides up on the mat, and you're going to place your square that's the appropriate size right on top of that square. So you have a black line going point to point on each diagonal, and your square is right underneath this. Now you can use a friction pen, something that irons off, a sharp pencil, or a micron pen. This is permanent though, so make sure you are on the wrong side of your fabric. Lean your pen in towards the black center line in the slot, and you're going to make each line, and you're making the X in the middle. So just lean it in, do each of these little lines, because the slot is actually bigger, so it's given you space to lean in. So you're going to make those lines all of the ways, plus the X in the middle. And you end up with this. You are now going to take that piece and put it right sides with A and sew. So I've done one already here. Here's A and B right sides together, and I have sewn straight down here. Leave your needle down, go to the X, go across the X, and over. So you're doing like a zigzag movement. And then you do it this way. So sew all the way down here to the X, across the X, and down the other side. This will give us our blocks that we need. And now we're going to trim them up. So you place it down here, and you're just going to be cutting right on the diagonals. If your ruler won't stretch across, I'll just pull out something else like a quick trim ruler, and you're going to be going point to point and cutting across. A rotating mat is very handy for this kind of thing. And point to point and cut across. And that gives you 4 pieces like this that are sewn. So here are the pieces that are sewn together. And now you're going to go press them. So I'll show you how to press them next. When you press, set the seam, and then you're going to open it up, put your hot iron onto B and just knock A over. If you've got a wool mat, it works really well. Your best press will help that come nice and flat too. So you're going to do that to all 4 of the pieces that you have. And now we're going to get them ready to sew. So when you sew these, you are going to line them up. You've got an A, B, and this is a C or a D, doesn't matter, you're going to do them all in the end. Line them up so the point here matches your point here and the long diagonal. You'll notice that the block underneath is actually a little bit bigger than you need. No big deal. This is why we have fudge factor, which I love. And you're going to sew down this long diagonal with a scant 1/4 inch. And I know this is a different color, but I've done this one for you. So same thing, point to point, long diagonal, sew with a scant seam. You are now going to not press it. You're going to trim it first. And this is where we use the ruler again. Put your AB part up and look for the pink lines on your ruler. Line the appropriate line up that I told you in your pattern, and you're putting the pink line on the stitch, the black line on the stitch. Make sure it's really nice and accurate. That will make it great and fit perfectly. And the nice thing about this ruler is it's got built-in non-slip, so it really does work quite well. And you're going to just cut across here. If you need to cut your dog ears off, I do suggest that you do that. There's tools for that. I'll do that later in a minute. And you're going to press this same way from the top. So this little dog ear you want to trim off. But when you've done that, they are perfect. They are exactly 5.5 inches. And that's exactly what you want. You can double check it with your ruler, but they are an absolute perfect block. Now you're just going to sew them the way I've told you in the different areas, and 2 blocks together, 2 blocks together, sew them, and you have a beautiful pinwheel spinning block. I also gave you a sheet in your instructions this time of what each colorway would look like, where your A, B's and C's and D's are, and if you made 16 blocks, how lovely it would be to make it into a quilt. So enjoy and get it all ready for next month. So it's January and we do have our January sale coming up. So don't forget to check that out. It's from the 11th to the 14th and it's in store. So come on in and get some really good deals because we only have a sale in January and August. And other than that, we will meet you back for Block of the Month in February. And if you found this video useful, please leave us a like or click subscribe for future content. And this has been Ingrid from Quiltessential Co. And thanks for sewing with me today. We'll see you soon.